tinfoil hat. Oh, what the are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
All right, guys, welcome to Tinfoil Hat, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studios. Just go to samtripoli.gold. Use the promo code TINFOIL, and you too can get in the Precious Metals game for as little as $50 a month. And Precious Metals is exploding, so you want to get in that as soon as possible. We're very excited to have our next guest on. We've been working on getting him on, and we made it happen. He's a former CIA counterintelligence agent. He is the torture whistleblower, and he's got a wonderful podcast. Please welcome John Kiriaku.
Hey, thank you. Good to be with you. It's a pleasure.
Honor and a privilege, man. I've been watching your stuff for a while, so the fact that you joined us is wonderful. For those who may not be familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
Thank you. Yeah, I've got a couple of podcasts, actually 3 podcasts, all running at the same time. I've got one called Deprogram on Rumble and YouTube every morning at 9 o'clock Eastern. I've got one called Deep Focus on YouTube, which is kind of like my flagship one. That comes out a couple times a week. And then I've got one that just has taken on a complete life of its own on Apple Podcasts called John Kiriaku's Dead Drop.
I love that, dude. I love that. If you do 4 more podcasts, you'll catch up with me.
There you go.
I'm a crazy person who can't stop doing podcasts.
What we'll do for $300 a month? It's just incredible. My brother once insulted me by saying that he never knew anybody who would work as hard for $20 as I would.
Hey, dude, that's honorable, my friend. That's honorable. I wish we had more people like that. So, you know, I've seen you on all the big shows. I love everything you're doing. My question I want to start off with you is, you hear Kurt Metzger talking about this a little bit about how, like, now with AI, we won't know what is real. Kurt's been saying this. I've been saying it for a very long time. It's like, have we ever really known it? What is real? Is anything real? I mean, how much of our reality is being manipulated by our intelligence services and the elites to the point that we worship maybe people that weren't that great of people? We have certain views on the world that are manufactured by a hidden hand. What are your thoughts on all that?
You know, I hate to say that I think that view is correct. I wish it wasn't correct, but you know, the more we learn about what our government has done ostensibly in our name, the more that statement rings true. Whether we're talking about AI today, or we're talking about MK Ultra between roughly 1952 or 3 and 1975, we can talk about the buildup to the Iraq War and the New York Times fake revelations that helped sway public opinion to support the Iraq War. There's so much of it that is just such complete horseshit.
Yeah,
that's spoon-fed to the American people. Like, where do you even start?
Yeah, I mean, like, if we go back to the hippie culture, I always feel that, like, 1950... the assassination, or whatever exact year that was, the assassination of JFK marks a turning point in this country, and this kind of move by the elites, the bringing in of Nazis into almost every aspect of our government. And then the OSS becomes a CIA, and it just becomes this kind of thing where, like, I don't know if you would consider the CIA evil. I know you used to work with a lot of people over there. And I spent
15 years there. Another thing I hate to say is I would consider the CIA to be evil. Not the entire CIA, and not, 95% of the very smart, very patriotic, very honest people who just want to, serve their country and keep Americans safe. But yeah, when you've got something that's known as the Tuesday morning kill list meeting, where the CIA director, is meeting with National Security Council and a bunch of lawyers to drop a list of people to kill that week, and then they send the teams out around the world to do their hits, and then they meet up again the next Tuesday morning to come up with another list, then that's a real problem.
And one thing I at my age of 53 I've learned is that evil never sleeps, right? like just good people just want to live their life, make $1, take care of their family, have a beer, get laid once in a while, just feel like they've accomplished something. But evil never rests. It's constantly pressing all the time. And it just seems like the CIA has been behind so much chaotic stuff that it's got to be, when you're working there. Now, when you're working there and you see something go off and you go, that might be us, and maybe you don't think it's the best thing ever, or you're like, oh, that's a little weird. What does that feel like when something pops off and you go, oh, dude, that's probably us. That's not good.
Yeah, like the destruction of the what's the Russian pipeline called?
Yeah.
What, Nord Stream?
Nord Stream.
Yeah.
Nord Stream and Nord Stream 2. I called a buddy of mine the next day. Everybody's like, the papers, it was Putin. He blew up the Nord Stream pipe. Why in blazes would Putin blow up his own pipeline? Number one. So I called a buddy of mine who's still at the agency. And I said, that had to be us, right? And he was like, dude, I can't talk about this. I said, no, that's okay. I get it. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. Of course it was us. So yeah, and then you whisper to all the newspapers and to the news outlets on cable, it was the Russians. It's a false flag operation. They blew up their own pipeline just so they could blame us. Like, no, that's not the way it is.
It just
not
doesn't.
at all.
It doesn't make any sense when you actually, when you're on this side, we'll say the conspiratorial people. You really have to look at stuff without emotion, because everybody is emotional at that point.
You are absolutely correct.
Right.
Absolutely correct. And don't forget that the term conspiracy theory was created by the CIA.
Yep. To get people to not question the JFK assassination and not question a bullet that takes a U-turn and comes back and hits the guy again. I mean, and it just goes into, again, that good people just want to trust. It's exhausting not to trust. Well, it can be exhausting. Then you understand the playbook, and you kind of go, okay, that's what they're doing there. They did that before. They did that before. They did that before.
And that's exactly right. And then you run into situations where some people can't turn it off, and so everything becomes a conspiracy. I had a woman. She was the wife of an ambassador assigned to the United States. And she called me and said, I think I'm under surveillance. I was wondering if I could hire you to do counter surveillance. I said, of course. So I met with her at a restaurant, and I did a surveillance detection route to and from the place. I didn't see any surveillance. The place was empty. It was just us. And I said, how far away from the restaurant do you live? She said, walking distance. I walked here. I said, okay, you leave before I leave. I'll follow you to your apartment, a couple of blocks back. So if there is surveillance, I'll be able to spot the surveillance on you. I didn't see anything on her. So I went to her apartment, and the entire interior is covered in aluminum foil. And as soon as I walked in, I was like, I said, did you put the aluminum foil up on the walls? And she said, yes, it was to reflect the X-rays. I said, okay. Well, I told her later that night. She called me like minutes after I left to say the neighbors were in the process of beaming waves at her, and if I rushed back, I could see the waves. So I rushed back. She points from her balcony at this apartment across the way, and it's just a young couple there had strung up some Christmas lights.
Oh boy.
And I said, you're not under surveillance. The CIA is not beaming waves at you. Your neighbors are not undercover officers. Those are just Christmas lights. And I said, in good conscience, I can't take your money. I won't take your money. I didn't. She was very angry, and she said, well, at least you could give me some advice. And I said, I'm saying this as a friend. I advise you to find a qualified psychiatrist because you're not under surveillance by anybody. And I think you need psychiatric intervention. She threw me out.
Did she have any reason for her to think she was being looked at or something? Is there
no surveillance?
Yeah, is there any reason?
No, none. And then there's one giveaway answer when you ask them to describe their surveillance. Does the surveillance travel with you? Like, are you under surveillance at your home and your work, or are you under surveillance all the time? And she said 24 hours a day, no matter where I go, no matter where I sleep. And I was like, okay, all right, I got you.
That would be a very expensive detail.
Yeah. Now, if you're the Chinese ambassador, okay, or you're the KGB station chief, all right, I can see the expense being. I could see them going to the expense of following you.
Different rules for different fools, right?
Yeah, if you're just the 65-year-old wife of some Arab ambassador, nobody cares what you do.
Well, that's conspiracy theorists, and I love conspiracy theorists, but they do tend to think sometimes overvalue. It's like every conspiracy theorist I know is always like, dude, they're going to watch me. I'm like, I'm on a list. They're getting ready for FEMA camps.
On the list.
Yeah.
I get that a lot too.
Well, and I'm sure the CIA preys on that though, right? That kind of
absolutely.
Paranoia. Yeah, it's
because that makes it easy to discredit people.
Yeah, totally.
If you just whisper, oh, he's a nut, then that's half the battle right there.
And there's also, I forget what it's called, the type of prison or jail where you think they're always watching. There's a certain name for that. I forget. I can't remember it right now. But
yeah, we used to call it. We conflated it with the Potemkin Village, right?
Yeah,
it's the Panopticon prison, right?
Panopticon Village, right?
Panopticon prison.
Prison, excuse me. And we are, their whole thing is like they're watching constantly. And if they get you to believe it, I think that's also a play with this AI. To make us believe it's so powerful that there's nothing we could do about it.
I'm glad you brought that up, especially in the intro. Just day before yesterday, well, I'm on a bunch of listservs, right? Mostly former intelligence people. And so on one of the listservs, a guy posted a YouTube video of a close friend of mine talking about the Russia-Ukraine thing and taking exactly the opposite position of what I know his long-held position to be. So I was like, what the heck? So I click on the video and I'm watching it. And it is obviously AI from the first 5 seconds because he sounds like he's either a zombie or a robot. And I know him. He doesn't talk like that. He's more animated. He's not just sitting talking like this, and the lips don't move exactly right. So we're still in these early stages of these AI videos where you can still, if you pay close attention, you can see a mistake or an inconsistency. In 6 months or 12 months, it's going to be too late for that. And so Congress has to act. There's got to be some kind of legislation passed that mandates that an AI video be identified as AI. For example, we've all seen these videos of, the 30-minute chair workout or whatever.
Yeah.
And it looks like this really attractive woman in a podcast studio, and she's talking to this guy who they say is 65 years old, and he's totally ripped, right?
Yeah, right.
And then in the smallest letters at the bottom of the screen, it says AI-generated actor. Look, first of all, nobody goes to do a podcast in a studio with no shirt on.
Yeah,
that's number one.
I would love to.
Yeah, right. I wish I was ripped. I'm 61 and I'm not at all ripped. But it's easy to spot stuff like that. We're quickly getting to a point where it's not at all going to be easy to spot. Not at all. I mean, think of it this way: what if somebody does an AI generated video that's believable of Donald Trump declaring war on China? Or war on Russia, or what? I mean, is there going to be a counterattack? That's what we're going to have to be worried about.
No, I'm with you on that.
Quickly getting there.
Well, how invested is the CIA in AI? Would you suspect?
Oh, the CIA. I would put my reputation on this. The CIA was one of the leaders in the birth of AI. the creation by AI. Remember, in the immediate aftermath of the 9/11 attacks, the CIA got congressional approval to create this thing called In-Q-Tel, which is a venture capital arm, like a quasi-governmental arm of the CIA, so that they could invest in private tech companies. Their very first investment, it was $15 million, which was a fortune in 2002. The very first investment was in Palantir. And now Palantir is a multi-billion-dollar, leader.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah. And so, we see OpenAI, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Will Hurd. Will Hurd, I was Will Hurd's mentor at the CIA. Awesome CIA officer, just had a gift for recruiting people. Will quit after about 6 years and went into the private sector and then ran for Congress and got elected. And he's half black, half white, and he won 3 consecutive elections in a Supreme Court mandated majority Hispanic district. That's what a good politician he is. And he's smart and he's good looking and he's just a great guy. He's Mr. Tech. He was Mr. Tech in Congress. He's the one, even when the Democrats were in charge, he got bills passed into law on cybersecurity. But then he left Congress to run for president for a minute. And now what does he do? He went to the board of OpenAI, and now he's the chairman of the board of some other AI company. But is Will really just Will trying to make a living for his family? Or is Will doing this for the CIA?
Dude, that's a great question. Is that the just embedding an operative there?
Exactly. That's what I'm afraid of.
So I'm going to ask you a question.
I'm sorry. Before you move on, is it possible that when he ran for Congress, he was also doing the same thing? Is that possible?
It's possible, but I would say no. And the reason I would say no is because he went to work for a former boss of ours who legit left the CIA just to make millions after 30 years of government employment. And then when he said he was running for Congress, we both told him independently of one another, Congress, that's not a step up, know?
Yeah.
It's a step down. Right. You sure you want to do that? He's like, yeah, because someday I'd like to be governor of Texas and blah, blah, blah. And he ran and then just realized it was a shit show up there and decided, now I'm going to go to OpenAI and make millions and millions of dollars.
The real power.
There comes that moment as you get older where it's like, okay, like I got to make my money now.
Exactly.
It happen all the time. Yeah. Even with this show, people get mad we have ads. I'm like, I'm 53, dude. I got kids to take care of. I got to make my money.
I'm 61 and the feds took my pension away from me.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, like johnlovesgold.com is something that I am very proud to promote.
Well, yeah, promote it, buddy. We got gold sponsor, but we want to help you out here. So
thanks.
I'm sure you've been asked this, and there's an old saying, once CIA, always CIA. Is that, I'm sure you've been asked that before.
I hate that. I think more than anything else that I have to confront. No, that's not true.
Okay.
That's not true. To me, that's an incredibly intellectually lazy position to take. There are so many CIA dissidents out there. I mean, can you imagine walking up to Ed Snowden and saying, well, once CIA, always CIA? What the f*** are you talking about?
Right.
Or Philip Agee, who broke from the CIA and published several books, and the CIA chased him around the world trying to assassinate him. Or Ray McGovern, who was a presidential briefer for 2 presidents in an almost 30-year CIA career, and is now constantly getting arrested at peace marches. So, no, listen, it was not a plan that I was going to go public about the CIA torture program and then allow the CIA to bankrupt me and then to go to prison for 2 years so that I could do like undercover CIA work inside the prison and then have my wife divorce me and take my kids.
I'm sorry
that's all
this
part.
happened.
Yeah.
Again,
yeah,
and
no,
I'm not trying to. I knew it could be a listen emotional response. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
That's you.
Oh no!
Anticipating the audience, right?
Yes.
I detected no disrespect whatsoever, and I appreciate the question actually because I get it quite often, and it allows me to explain my position. When people listen, if If the CIA wants to have pro-CIA people out there, they're already out there. Just watch the Sean Ryan show or listen to Andrew Bustamante. Listen to Andrew Bustamante for 5 minutes. He's going to try to recruit you.
Oh, your discussion with him was just, I was so disappointed with that guy.
That kid, I'll tell you. Oh, my God. And I'll tell you a couple of interesting things about Andrew. Andrew and I have some mutual friends, people I like very, very much and respect. But Andrew has a very sophisticated way of pulling the wool over people's eyes. There are two things that former CIA people ask each other when they meet for the first time. The first one is, what directorate were you in? There are only 4 answers. The Directorate of Operations, the Directorate of Intelligence, the Directorate of Science and Technology, or the Directorate of Administration. And nobody wants to say they were in that directorate because that's the accountants and the logs people.
Secretary.
Right. So either DO or DI, Ops or Intel. Intel being analysis. So you ask that question first. And then you ask the inevitable follow-up question. What division were you in? Now, you can have 24 answers there, but it can be like Near Eastern Ops, Russia Ops, Africa, Latin America, counterintelligence, counterterrorism, whatever. The third question, if you get that far, is what was your job? So a case officer is also called an operations officer, or in the old school speak, a Cat B officer, Category B officer. We were the ones who recruited spies to steal secrets. Andrew whispered to me when I met him that day, I was not a case officer. That's the first time I had ever heard that because he presents himself as a case officer. I said, what were you? And he said, I was a SOO, an SOO. That stands for Special Operations Officer. So what is a Special Operations Officer? That is the operations officer's assistant. So I would come back from an operation and say, Andrew, like person, can you do my accounting paperwork? I'm too busy. Or Sue, can you set up a surveillance team for me? I'm going to do an op tonight and it's high threat. This is not a guy who ever recruited a source, ever, in any country, never. More than that, he just came out with a book with his wife in which, he caught some mole. Number one, I call bullshit because there's an organization at the CIA called the Counterintelligence Center, which has about 300 very highly skilled mole hunters. And what he wants us to believe is they found out that there was some kind of mole. None of the 300 professional mole hunters could do the job. So they called in Andrew and his wife. And by God, they got to the bottom of the case. And then I wonder why I never read about any mole in the Washington Post or the New York Times. But we're just supposed to take his word for it.
Do you think getting into Project Mockingbird, that he's part of that program, that he's sent out as a disruptor? And
in an unofficial way, I would say yes. And the reason I say unofficial is that Operation Mockingbird was deemed to be illegal in 1975. But the CIA has gotten to the point where it doesn't need to make an official operation. And I'll tell you how I know that. A buddy of mine is an investigative journalist, quite an excellent investigative journalist for Bloomberg. His name is Jason Leopold. And a couple of Christmases ago, Jason was just bored. And so he filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the CIA. Now, Jason has filed more FOIA requests than any other person on the planet Earth, to the point where George W. Bush's Pentagon spokesman called him a FOIA terrorist. Seriously, in an open forum, in a press conference, called him a FOIA terrorist. But Jason, because he's constantly filing FOIA requests, he's the one that broke the Hillary Clinton email story, just by asking through the Freedom of Information Act for every one of Hillary Clinton's emails and access to the servers that they were on. He's the one that got the story. So he was bored a couple of Christmases ago. He files a FOIA request for every communication over the previous year between the CIA and every journalist, period. And what happens is they'll make you wait 20 or 30 years before they respond,
That's
which of course
so
is illegal.
crazy.
They have 60 days to respond. And so on day 61, he files a federal lawsuit, which he wins every single time. And then the CIA has to pay his legal fees, and then they have 30 days to release the information. So what he found in that tranche, several interesting things. Number one, Ken Delanian, who is the chief national security journalist for NBC News and MSNBC. Now it's called MS Now.
You miss now.
Yeah, Miss Now. Ken Delanian was sending his articles to the CIA for clearance before he sent them to his own editor.
That is so crazy and so anti-journalist.
Yeah.
So he should never work in journalism again, just for that. Number two, there was some young, hungry, independent journalist who came up with something. And he sent it to the CIA and said, I'm going to publish this. Do you care to comment? And they wrote back and they said, so help us God, if you publish this, we will never work with you again. We will never give you any information again. And you will never be invited to the Christmas party. Seriously. And he killed his own piece. Just killed his own article.
Hey guys, listen, we've been telling you on this show, on Cash Daddies, precious metals is where you want to go with your money, stabilize your cash, and there's no better place to go than Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. Let me tell you about Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. If you're paying attention, you know that de-dollarization is real. Fiat is fake, and you don't want to be left holding the bag when the dollar collapses. Gold and silver has been money through all of recorded history and are an excellent way to protect yourself from inflation and geopolitical turmoil. That's why I trust my friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver for all things precious metal. Veteran-owned and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. No transaction is too big or too small, and you can even roll over your 401k or IRA into physical gold and silver. And if you think you can't afford precious metals, think again. With the Wolf Pack monthly membership program, you can get gold and silver delivered directly to your door for as little as $50 a month. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver also deals in and accepts Bitcoin. So go to samtripoli.gold, promo code tinfoil at checkout to receive free constitutional silver. And remember, in the world of bulls and bears, be the wolf. Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about one of my favorite sponsors on the show, and that's True Work. Listen, winter jobs don't mess around. Freezing mornings, wet conditions, wind that cuts right through cheap gear. You need workwear that performs when it's brutal out there. True Work builds performance workwear like it matters, because it does.
Founded by a trade professional who was done with soaking wet, heavy gear slowing him down, True Work set out to make workwear that keeps pros comfortable, capable, and ready for whatever the day throws at them. While brands like Carhartt and Dickies focus on traditional cotton-based gear that gets heavy when it's wet, True Work uses advanced performance fabrics originally developed for extreme outdoor conditions, now engineered specifically for trade work. Designed with moisture-wicking, wind-resistant, and insulated fabrics that keep you comfortable and mobile all day, even in the harshest winter conditions. Every piece is tested on real job sites with trade pros before it ever goes to market. When winter hits hard, you're still ready to work, not fighting your gear. Over 50,000 five-star reviews from pros in every trade and climate, real feedback from electricians, plumbers, and contractors working through brutal winters. That's what you'll find on their website.
I love it, dude. I have one of their jackets. It's pure fire, dude. I love it. It's perfect. You know, if I like it, I know you're going to like it. Okay, so here's what we need you to do. Don't let cheap gear slow you down this winter. Upgrade your day with workwear built like it matters. Get 50% off your first order at truework.com with code TINFOIL. That's TrueWork, TRUEWERK.com, okay? And we thank them for sponsoring the show. Does it seem like these younger people are more concerned about conformity and access than the old days, or is that an illusion as well? You know, the Watergate, there seems to be like FBI connections to that whole story, and maybe that wasn't even the real story, that Nixon wasn't spying, but more in a weird way it was somewhat Epstein-like, in that there were escorts involved, and that's how they got all their information, but they had to create a story to take out Nixon. And there's a whole story with Nixon, a 60-minute interview where he, along with Eisenhower and a Rockefeller, brought over a lot of Nazis, and nobody ever talks about that, which is funny because Tucker's on
Truman. Truman was the worst offender.
Yeah, Truman was.
We only went to the moon because of Nazi scientists. We brought all those guys. What was it? Operation Paperclip.
Yep.
We brought all those Nazi scientists. That's why en masse, every Nazi scientist gave up to the United States rather than to the Soviet Union. They knew that the Soviets would execute them and the Americans would give them jobs. And so they all ended up working for NASA.
Yeah, it's crazy. We've had people come on that NASA was actually a part of the Kennedy assassination because Kennedy wanted to give the Russians some intel because he was worried that they would think that these UFO things, or whatever, UPIs or whatever they call them UAPs, that they would think they were nukes, they were nuclear crafts, and he wanted them to know that it wasn't. And there were so many Nazis in NASA, which is crazy because they all came over and none of them changed their names. Like if you know you're in a witness protection program, you change your name to something totally different. Like,
why would you? Did nothing wrong, as far as they know. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just like none of them changed their names.
Well, they all, universally at the end of the war thought that they would join the Allies and start fighting the Russians, the Soviets.
Yes.
I mean, that was the whole plan. Like Himmler was trying to set up his own government and then be like, hey, we'll help you guys fight the Russians now. We're all in it together.
And there's a story like about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, was that there was a lot of ex-CIA people running for Democratic offices. And I think they all got elected.
Abby Spanberger just became governor a couple of days ago. She and I worked at the agency together. And then Alyssa Slotkin is a senator from Michigan. I saw her the other day. It was funny. I was walking into Fox while she was walking into MSNBC. They're in the same building.
Oh, that is crazy.
Yeah. And
that is crazy.
And I go, hello, Alyssa. I said, hello, Alyssa. And she goes, hello, John. And we just stood there in the elevator. Just stood there, like pretending we weren't uncomfortable with each other.
Well, is that how your ex coworkers treat you for the most part? Do you feel that they look at you in a weird way now?
Yes and no. And I can explain that. The ones who knew me, I'm still friends with. The ones that were like vaguely acquainted with me or who were true believers in the torture program, they have nothing to do with me. And I am more than cool with that. And then there's this younger generation of people who joined the agency after I left who hold me in this funny esteem. And at least a half a dozen of them have reached out in the last year. One of them told me a very funny story. She was sitting in on a security briefing. Like you have to do these mandatory security briefings like every 3 years or every 5 years, whatever it is. And so part of the briefing was on counterintelligence. And they had this slide, this PowerPoint slide, and it was the insider threat. And it had a picture of me.
Oh, gee.
Wow.
And she said that everybody started to boo. And the presenter said, yeah, that's right. He was a bad guy. And they're like, no, we're booing you. He was a whistleblower.
Good for you.
She said in the next running, they had deleted that slide.
That's funny.
I like that. Because you got to believe, like, my opinion on, like, especially the military, I'm a very anti-war guy. I think there's enough for everybody, and we should
totally agree.
We should respect sovereign nations and allow them to make, to gain wealth from their own resources. That's what I believe. I don't think we should. But it seems to me that our military has become the stormtroopers of the international banking cabal.
Yeah, totally agree. I remember when we were getting ready to kick off the Iraq war, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they were 100% anti-war. They were against that war from the first time it came out of somebody from the White House's mouth. And I remember one of the guys at the agency said, these Joint Chiefs guys, they're always against war. And I said, that ought to tell us something.
Yeah.
If the leading anti-war voices are the guys with 4 stars on their shoulders, maybe we ought to listen to what they have to say.
I totally agree with that. And what really upsets me is all these 40 and 50-year-old people on the internet calling for war, knowing that they'll never, ever fight any of that war. Like, if you're pro-war, dude, join the draft, throw them right in the military, put them on the front line. And, it's like people don't want to draft, and I understand that. But what a draft does is gets, in particular, mothers very involved in where we're sending our kids. Without a draft, we're just sending poor kids to go die for bankers. Just to be honest with you, I did mushrooms at a World Series game one time. I was on mushroom. I don't know why I thought that'd be a good idea, but I decided to do it. So funny. And me and my girlfriend went to go watch the World Series. And the thing that I noticed was how much military propaganda was in that game, like from bringing out the ex-soldiers, everyone cheering them, and if
the
you're
flyovers,
and if you're a young kid who doesn't have a lot of what you believe is economic opportunity, which I don't believe in, but they believe that, they're constantly told that, man, the military is a great place to go, especially now when all you're hearing is AI's taking all the jobs, AI's doing this, HB1 visas, all this stuff. Man, where can I get a paycheck from? Well, join the military, man. It's you get all these benefits, you get to go to school. Well, you're also going to be thrown in the middle of hell for a war that really has no other meaning than to steal natural resources.
My mom and dad both grew up very poor. Poor to the point where my mom once missed a month of school because she had no shoes. That kind of poor. And my dad got drafted and he went to Korea, to the Korean War. And years later, he never, ever, ever talked about it. Never. And then years later, we had a recruiter come to my high school. I was a senior. And this is going to sound so stupid, but this is also very typical of me. The recruiter said, if you come down to the office on Saturday just to talk, you don't have to sign anything, I'll give you a free pack of tube socks. And I was like, hey, that's cool. It's like getting a free pizza,
Yeah.
So I mentioned to my dad, I said, hey, I'm going to go down to the Army recruiter on Saturday. He said, for what? And I said, just to talk. They're giving away socks.
Like a timeshare.
Yeah, right. And I had never seen him like this before. He got very serious. He got right up in my face and he said, if you go down there, you and I are going to have a serious problem, boy. And so I didn't go. Yeah. And then he was apoplectic when I joined the CIA. He was like, what are you doing? Oh my God. But my point is, he grew up poor. He ended up getting drafted. He saw that it was all BS from the get-go. And countless first and second cousins in my family. I had 4 cousins that served on the ground in Vietnam. 2 were drafted and 2 joined the Marines. But nothing good comes of stuff like that. Yeah. Because you're right. In the end, it is for the bankers, and it is the poor people who end up going to fight.
Yeah, you end up finding out there's alternative motives to stuff.
Sure.
I mean, the whole Gulf of Tonkin was a complete makeup. And then you find out the golden triangle of heroin in that region, which they wanted to take over, it sounds exactly like Afghanistan for a very long time. And they just keep playing the playbook over and over again because there was no internet in which people could share information.
That's right.
When you look at the internet, what is your thoughts on it? Did it get away from them, or is it exactly what they wanted in terms of, divide and conquer? And my friend Tino it's like doing exactly what it didn't get away from it. It's doing exactly what they wanted to do.
Oh, I think this was exactly the plan. I remember the first time I had ever heard of email. I happened to be overseas in the Middle East. I was on a mission, and the station chief said, hey, there's an all hands meeting this afternoon at whenever. We're going to have some kind of computer demonstration. So I go to the office, and there are these 2 tech guys from headquarters, and they're showing us this thing called the internet. I'd never heard of this. And what was the most fascinating was their demonstration of email, where there was a guy at headquarters and they sent a message and he responded. And everybody was like oohing and awing, like, oh my God, we had never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
So the station chief says, wait a minute. Are you telling me that one of my people can send one of these emails to somebody in headquarters and I don't know about it? And the guy said, yeah. And he said, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I've played over that conversation in my mind 1,000 times. And I've come to realize that even whether these implementers knew it or not, the idea was that there's always going to be somebody that knows about it. And you release this to the public eventually, which they did 3 or 4 or 5 years later. And everybody migrates everything they do in life to the internet.
Yep.
Where NSA can follow everything, CIA can follow everything. There's no problem. Now, our whole lives are out there and are not even subject to a warrant anymore because of the advent of something called a national security letter, which is just a letter from the FBI to one of the internet providers saying, we invoke national security statutes. We want all the metadata on John Kiriaku. And they turn it over. Or even worse yet, why bother going before a judge to ask for a warrant when you can just call, Google and say, I want to buy this metadata that you have for sale. I want to buy all of John Kiriaku's metadata. Yeah, sure. It's for sale. They sell it to anybody who asks for it. So why would you need a warrant when it's just publicly available for purchase?
Yeah. And
we've gotten ourselves in a hole.
Well, they say that, if something's free, you're the product.
Exactly.
And Gmail is like, hey, here's a free email.
That's right.
Here you go. It's for free. You can use, and now everybody's email is Gmail.
Yeah, and it's like this scam that has been making the rounds on Facebook since there was a Facebook, saying, I saw on Channel 6 News last night that starting tomorrow, Facebook has access to all of your data. And what you have to do is cut and paste this statement. Did you not read the terms of agreement?
Yeah.
You gave them everything when you started your Facebook account.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
They already own it. It's too late.
So now we've been talking about this for a long time, but it seems to be a lot of these platforms have connections to intelligence, like Facebook, Google, Twitter. We got. I don't know what to play for. I mean, it's obviously data, but like Elon Musk buying Twitter opens it up, and for a brief second, it was like it was a Wild West, and then they're like, okay, this got out of control. Let's lock this down. Like, there's certain things I can't tweet right now about what is happening in Minnesota. Like there's a GIF, whatever we call it, GIFs. What do we call it? GIFs?
I call it GIFs.
GIFs. I forget what the director is, but he's like absolute cinema.
Yes.
And I've tried to post that with that GIF, and it will not let me. But for some reason, when I take the picture and post it of the GIF and just put that up, it lets me do it. It's very interesting.
Scorsese, right?
Yeah, Scorsese. It's very, very interesting what they're doing. But
that's Elon, or what?
Well, I mean, like the notion that Elon is kind of this.
We're not doing the Scorsese GIF on anything to do with Minnesota, okay, guys?
No, but Johnny, it's literally happening.
No, but the idea that Elon is actually like.
Well, I didn't mean.
No, I don't think
Twitter.
Elon is reading every tweet, going yes, no, yes, no.
I often question how much he has to do with any of that shit. Really, like,
I'm sure he doesn't have to do. I'm sure, the whole thing is to put people in position that you want to run it.
He's the figurehead,
and you let them do their thing, and then, But it's interesting, dude. But the question I want to ask is, are these just extensions of the government? Is Facebook, which was LifeLock, and then they don't even wait a day to register Facebook as as a business and an idea. The exact day which is February 4th, 2004, they end LifeLock at the Pentagon. The exact same day they start Facebook. So the question becomes like, how much of this is actually real? We're getting into AI. You're not going to know it's real. Is the story of Facebook a real story, or is it they just found the kid through data, whether it's the Gates program or whatever.
Right.
They go, okay, this kid is he's a psychopath, he'll do anything, he doesn't care, let's position him in the position because he's manageable. Like they do that with Google. We see seed money from the CIA, kind of I don't know if you call it a cutout, but like a CIA shell company helps give money to Google to kick them off, Facebook, and we keep going down all these different platforms.
Yeah, I think all of that is true. I think that's all been part of the CIA's plan, especially post 9/11. Matt Taibbi and a couple of others did some really important work in those days just after Elon Musk bought Twitter. And Matt found that there were active duty CIA and FBI officers working at Twitter. Cool. And later on, we learned that there were active duty CIA and FBI, maybe even NSA at Facebook and at Google and these other places. I worked for a guy from 2000 to 2001 who had been the chief of a very large station and came back to headquarters. I worked for him for like 6 months, and then he resigned. And I said, "You're resigning? You got 10 years to go to get your 30." And he said, "Microsoft made me an offer I couldn't possibly refuse." And he up and moved to Washington State and spent the rest of his career at Microsoft. And what did he know about technology? Nothing.
What is it? Is it access to the intelligence agencies, or
I always believed it was.
or
Yeah.
the CIA saying, "Hire this guy. We'll have a guy in there."
Yeah. You probably yes to both.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So, we're living in this kind of time where, we believe certain countries might have a little bit of too much control of our government. The belief that certain countries have gotten us into wars for their own benefit. I've been saying this for a while. I'd love to hear your opinion on it. But, the notion that the CIA, Mossad, and MI6, are they technically separate, or are they just really all working together in a way that they just have different names for different areas?
Oh, no, this is very precise. So there's an organization called the Five Eyes, made up of the intelligence services of the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. They give each other literally unfettered access, literally, where now you see a CIA guy walking down the hall, you're just as likely to see an MI6 guy or an Australian guy or a Canadian guy or whatever. Mossad is different. The relationship is close, but the Mossad spies on the CIA. The CIA does not spy on Mossad. We have not been allowed to spy on Israel since the Nixon administration. But Israel actively spies against the United States, against the CIA, the FBI, NSA, DOD very heavily, and especially DOD contractors. Now, that relationship is mostly a one-way street, where we give the Israelis just about everything that we collect. And then the Israelis give us very, very little in return. Like, they'll give us a lot of Iran stuff, but that's just to convince us to help them bomb Iran.
Yeah.
And that's it. I've said more than once in public venues that one of the things the Israelis have never answered is, what did they know about the planning for 9/11? And why did they not share it with us? Like, they won't even have that conversation. They won't answer the question. They won't even recognize the question. And on the other side, with the Five Eyes, I mean, we were joined at the hip, starting with 9/11.
You have a story that's illustrative of the Israel thing, right? About how the facilities are You have a special
Yeah.
facility just for meetings. Is that right?
Yeah, when I first got hired at the CIA in January of 1990, I was about 6 weeks into it. In March of 1990, when my boss told me I was going to do my first foreign liaison briefing, and that's kind of a big deal, right? I was an overt employee, so I was going by my true name, and I was told that I was going to brief the Israeli Mossad and Shin Bet representatives here in Washington. So, much to my surprise, we didn't go to a conference room. We had to get in our cars and drive to this safe house off-site. And my boss said, "Yeah, we never ever talk to the Israelis in the building. In fact, the Israelis are not permitted to come in the building." I was like, "What?" I mean, I briefed everybody from the prime minister of Fiji to the leader of the Kurdish Democratic Party in headquarters, but the Israelis are not permitted in the building. And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, every time they would come, they would bring gifts. And of course, we have to x-ray everything that comes into the building. And every single gift was packed with listening devices and batteries. And then we have to tell these guys, stop doing this. Stop trying to bug our conference rooms." And they'd be like, oh, sorry. Oh, it was just a joke. It was a joke. Don't worry. And then we're like, "No, you can't come in here anymore." And that was 35 years ago.
Why do you think it's what was your from the inside? What was your impression of why they continue to deal with them in that one-sided
Why are
way?
they given? Why are they allowed that kind of power?
Right.
Yeah, that's the question. That's the question to which I do not have an answer. But they get away with it because, and we continue this incredibly close relationship with them because of political pressure. We have to answer to politicians, and the politicians say that the Israelis are on the A list, and we do whatever they want.
Guys, just when you thought life couldn't get any better, I got something for you. It's called Blue Chew Gold. That's right, power boners. All right, let me tell you about Blue Chew Gold. This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. Oh no, this is a 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking about 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rock hard pumping with a mix of amphetamine and
Oxytocin.
turned up the arousal and connection in your body and in your brain and in your body. That's right. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works as little as 15 minutes. Come on now. That's instant, dude. That means you can get it on quicker and stay longer in the game. That's right. Elevation without hesitation. That's right. This is peak passion and performance in a single tablet. Makes life easier by getting hard, and discover your options at bluechew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. That's right. Just for our listeners and our listeners only. Here we go. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with the code TINFOIL. That's promo code TINFOIL. Visit bluechew.com for more details, important safety information, and we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. I wonder what that is. I mean, I have feelings, but I just think they represent something even bigger, like the Bank of England and stuff like that. Like that area is very important for their plans, the Greater Israel Project and stuff like that they allow them kind of this freewheeling way of operating.
And politically, I think so many of the politicians, it's genuinely based in theology, especially
there are a lot of evangelicals who believe that silliness.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, dude. But it's also blackmail. I mean, again, it's if you even take a look at Pornhub, right? I mean, what's the connections of the intelligence agencies to Pornhub? I mean, it was the first website was the fastest website to 50 million subscribers.
And it's free.
Jeez, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it's free.
And it's free. All you got to do is give them your email. And you're crazy to do that, dude.
They have your VPN or whatever they have.
But again,
your IP address.
It's like everything is data. And they've been, before the internet, they did it through this Gates program, people at these campuses who is, if you go to Herzl and the beginning of Zionism, I guarantee you, they identified him as a guy that had an idea that could really help them. So they get on these campuses, they find out who's the most extreme, who's the most that, and they just start to push them in these kind of directions that could be helpful to the elites. And I think that's exactly what's happening. I know it sounds crazy, but if you have a porno that is a little risque and you see who's commenting on it or who's watching it and do they have political aspirations, you can start positioning people to, hey, someone comes in, nudges them, and maybe I'm wrong, John. This might be too deep of a thought, but, nudge them into political office. And then you're like, okay, we know this guy has a weird kind of fetish that we could maybe get him with, and then now we got him controlled. And you kind of look at like, why do states have term limits, and why doesn't Washington have term limits? Why does Nancy Pelosi have a picture of her as a young person with JFK? That's how long she's been around there, since JFK, man.
Guess who was in the Gates program?
Who?
Candace Owens. And she's starting to say, like, I think I was being manipulated. She's on her own podcast. She's like, I was in the Gates program, and I think that they were using me, and now they're trying to start to figure out, like...
Johnny was in the Gates program, but he's so retarded, nobody wanted to work with him.
No, that's why he's on tinfoil.
Well, no, I mean, they put me in a different school, but it was...
Yeah, they move you schools and everything. Yeah, Candace was talking about how they move you around and they make you take this little pink drink, and there's like a whole thing that
I didn't have a pink drink. I know that was the color of the fluoride that they would make us country boys take because we had well water. They'd make you swirl this fluoride when you went to the dentist.
It just seems like it's such a deep.
I think you're right though. Like, especially if you're already on, you're being monitored, and with AI now, I mean, they can monitor so many more people and collate that data much more easily, I assume.
And they don't have to actually watch the data; they can just collect it until you become either something they're interested in or a problem.
That's right. It's like this giant collection facility. I talk about this all the time. This giant NSA collection facility in the Utah desert that was built starting around 2002. It has enough storage space for every phone call, every text message, and every email by every American for the next 500 years. Wow. Why? What are they going to do with that?
Yeah, exactly.
They just let it sit there until they need it to use against you.
So the question always becomes, well, if I'm not doing anything wrong, why do I care they're spying on me? Just think about that statement.
Yeah.
Well, may I add something? May I interrupt you?
Yes, of course.
Do you know who was the first person to pose that question publicly?
Who?
It was Joseph Goebbels in 1936. If you haven't done anything wrong, then what are you worried about? That's not the issue at all. The issue is that it's being collected to use against me.
Yep.
What if you make a call to an abortion clinic or to a therapist, or God forbid, oh my God, I saw a commercial the other day. Transfer all your prescriptions to Amazon Pharmacy. It's like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, dude, exactly.
So Jeff Bezos can keep track of my medications. I wrote a comment on a Washington Post article just the other day, and the entirety of my comment was, Washington Post, you've become the rag of the 1%. Yeah. And when I hit post, it said, your comment violates our community standards. It's like, what community? The billionaire community standards?
Yeah.
Because it's just criticizing Jeff Bezos, and they rejected the comment. Rejected it outright.
Exactly. That's happened. That's exactly what happened to me on Twitter. Like, I know you think I'm crazy, but
I totally
you start calling out the theater of Minneapolis where nothing's real. The IDF trains the ICE. The protesters are all paid. They're all professional. And then the people who cause chaos, the disruptors, they're all intelligence agents. You see the guy we talked about before, the guy who was burning the American flag in a mask and then just walked off and they followed him and he wouldn't take off his mask. You're like, if you look at January 6th, too, same thing.
What is it called? Agent provocateur?
Yeah, they're provocateurs.
Yeah. Agent provocateur, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. And you just go, what is real? What in our world is God's reality? And I just think it all extends from the fact that we print all this money and we just use it to bribe everybody to play their role in this giant Broadway production called, culture.
Yeah, I think that's right.
It's so crazy to me. Like, none of it's real, dude. None of it's real. So we get into, I don't know if you've commented on Epstein at all.
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it almost becomes a Streisand effect. The more they don't put it out, the more people want to look into it. I think people want to look into it. I feel like we have the attention span of 2 weeks, and then we move on to the next big thing. That's why if you ever have a scandal, just get off the internet for 2 weeks. Someone else will come in and be an idiot, and they'll all start talking about him.
Which is why Dan Bongino is taking such guff these days.
Yeah.
He was going to go drain the swamp, and heads were going to roll, and he was going to crack heads, and then he just goes back to his podcast with his tail between his legs, being unusually defensive as to why he didn't accomplish anything.
Well, I mean, do you think it's actually possible to make any changes in these intelligence agencies? Like, if you're like, I'm going to go in, and they position you. It's almost like a coach who goes into the New York Jets. It's like you can try to do everything you want, but that's a culture of losing right there.
That's right.
Ran by crazy people.
Yeah.
So
Cleveland
it's
Browns.
You got these two guys coming in that, it's like, I'm going to turn the FBI headquarters into a museum. And then in 2 seconds, there's no list. There's no anything. It's like, what did you take out of his house? What were those boxes you were carrying? What are you talking about? And the question becomes also a demoralization campaign as well. It's like,
yes,
you have Pam Bondi, filmed by Project Veritas, perfectly shot, saying there's images everywhere, and she's just having lunch, talking with somebody about this.
That's
shot
unreal.
perfectly. Oh my God, Pam Bondi says there's 10,000 videos of them hurting kids. Perfectly shot. And then she comes out and says there's nothing there. That's a giant demoralization campaign. And I look at everything through a demoralization campaign. How are they trying to demoralize us? A lot of this is with these judges letting out criminals. The big thing is now it's not even that, okay, you're letting these criminals out. Now, if this guy enters my house and I defend myself, I'm the one getting arrested.
Yes.
That's all part of a demoralization campaign to beg for martial law. And you see it happening over and over and over again, which is very Bolshevik, which is all part of this Bolshevik revolution. It's crazy to me. As you watch things like the governor's Minnesota governor kidnapping case, where it's or
Michigan,
excuse me, dude. 15 people were going to kidnap her. 13 of them were basically on the FBI payroll. And then we go into January 6th, where there's over 300 agents there. How about have you ever heard of the Route 82 bridge conspiracy? No.
In Cleveland? Oh my God. So there were these three idiots, and they're in a bar and they're drinking, and this guy that they know comes in and he sits with them and he starts drinking, and he says, "Hey, you know what would be really cool? We should blow up the Route 82 bridge." Route 82, before there was an interstate highway system, Route 82 was a main road from Philadelphia to Cleveland. And there's a major, concrete expansion bridge that takes you into the city of Cleveland. So they get this, the guy says, "I've got dynamite, I've got a detonator, I've got all this stuff." Well, of course, he's an FBI informant. And they place these phony explosives. They push the plunger. The FBI comes out of the bushes and grabs the three of them. So first of all, they were entrapped. They were just sitting there drinking, minding their own business. They didn't have any plans to blow up the Route 82 bridge. They were targeted by the FBI. This guy was just trying to, win some points for himself to save himself from some other case by ratting out these three idiots. But they got 20, 25, and 30 years in prison for conspiracy to commit terrorism and conspiracy to use a weapon of mass destruction. That's what the FBI does to people. I'll give you another example. I'll give you two examples, personal ones. When I was after I left the CIA, I went to the private sector for a few years, 4 years. Then I went to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee as the senior investigator. And one of the things I loved about that job was you get to have lunch with foreign diplomats all the time. So it was like being overseas in the agency again, and you talk about all the issues of the day. It's a lot of fun. So I got a call from the Japanese embassy one day, and this guy introduces himself as the number 3. His English was absolutely terrible. So he spoke to me in Arabic. He was the embassy's Arab expert, and he knows my past, was in the Middle East and that I spoke Arabic. And so, would you like to meet for lunch? I said, sure. So we meet at Charlie, whatever it's called, Steakhouse up on Capitol Hill. They just went out of business. And I remember that lunch very well. We talked about the Middle East peace process. We talked about Turkish elections and Israeli elections. And at the end of it, I said, well, this was a lovely lunch. Thank you so much for the invitation. And he says, no, wait a minute. He says, so what's next for you? And I said, well, I promised Senator Kerry, John Kerry was the chairman at the time. I said, I promised Senator Kerry I'd give him 2 years. It's been 2.5. I have 5 kids, and I need to make some money to send my kids to college. So I think I'm going to go back into the private sector again. And he goes, no. He goes, don't do that. If you give me information, I can give you money. And I said, shame on you, cold pitching me like that.
That was the worst pitch ever.
Yeah. I said, how many times do you think I've made that pitch? Shame on you. I'm reporting this. And I got up and I went directly, without stopping, to the office of the Senate Security Officer. And I said, I was just pitched by a foreign intelligence officer. So he had me sit at this standalone computer, not connected to the internet. I wrote a memo, and he hand delivered it to the FBI. Then he called me the next day and said, the FBI is going to send 2 FBI agents up to interview you. I said, great. So the next day, I meet them in the Senate Security Office, and I told them the whole story. And they said, okay, here's what we want you to do. We want you to call him back, invite him to lunch, and try to get him to tell you what information he wants and how much money he's willing to pay for it. And because I'm a patriot, I said, you want me to wear a wire or something? And they said, no, we're going to be at the next table. We're going to listen to everything. I said, well, he doesn't speak English. Well, we're going to have an Arabic speaker there. I said, okay. The next day I called him. He agreed to lunch. We set a date. And then the morning of the lunch, the FBI guy calls me and says, something came up. Just go ahead and do the lunch, but send us another memo. So I did the lunch, and then I did a 3rd lunch and a 4th lunch and a 5th lunch, each time at the urging of the FBI. And then I would write these extraordinarily detailed memos and send them to FBI headquarters. So in the last lunch, the guy says to me, listen, I got promoted. I got my dream job. I'm going to be the number 2 in the Japanese embassy in Cairo. And I shook his hand. I said, good luck. I never saw him again. A year later, I'm under arrest. And we get discovery from the Justice Department. 15,000 pages of classified discovery. And in this discovery, we find 2 things of import. Number 1 was a memo from John Brennan to Eric Holder, the Attorney General, saying, charge him with espionage. And Holder writes back and says, my people don't think he committed espionage. And then Brennan writes back and says, charge him anyway and make him defend himself.
Oh, my God.
So they arrested me, and they charged me with 3 counts of espionage plus 2 other felonies. Now, this is a death penalty offense.
Yeah.
Oh, my
espionage.
God.
Yeah. And then the other thing we found was that there never was any Japanese diplomat. He was an FBI agent trying to get me to commit actual espionage.
Whoa!
But I kept reporting the contact back to the FBI. And so the Arabic-speaking Japanese diplomat writes a letter to his boss. What was his name that got arrested? during Trump 1 and thrown out. Stephen, no, that wasn't it. Anyway, whatever his name is, famous. The guy that had an affair and he said, we got to stop Trump. We got to, remember that?
No, I don't, but that.
What was his role in the government?
He was the head of the counterintelligence division in the FBI.
I'll look it up.
No,
Yeah.
okay. That's
so
crazy,
dude.
dude.
So the FBI, the Japanese diplomat wrote to him and said, I think we should end this operation. He's clearly not going to take the bait. So that's when he said, oh, I got promoted. I'm going to Cairo. Because I wasn't.
Peter Strzok, right?
Peter Strzok.
Yeah,
Peter Strzok.
Yes, Peter Strzok. There we
Peter
go.
Strzok. So they gave up. Now, the day before I left for prison, my lead attorney pulls me aside and he said, listen, my sources are telling me that DOJ is very upset that you got such a short sentence. So heads up, they're probably going to try to set you up in prison.
Oh my
And
God.
I said, okay, I'll be on my
So you were
my
found
watch.
guilty. That's what you're telling me? You were found guilty of espionage?
They dropped all the espionage charges. I took a plea to a lesser charge just to make the thing go away. I had 5 kids at home.
That is crazy.
So should I take 23 months or should I risk 12 to 18 years, which is what they were offering? So I took the 23 months and thought, well, I'll just apply for a pardon, someday, which I have done, and the president is considering it. So in any event, I'm in prison about, let me think, about 3 months, 3.5 months. And down the hall from me, at the end of the hall, there was an Afghan-American guy. He was a pharmacist with a bad oxy habit. And he was doing 6 years. So he comes up to me and he says, hey, buddy, there's a new prisoner who wants to meet you. And I said, oh, okay, who's that? He goes, he's the spokesman for the Taliban. And I said, are you talking about that guy from New Jersey that got arrested for like conspiracy to commit terrorism or something? He said, yeah, he just arrived here. I said, I don't want to have anything to do with that guy. I don't have anything to say to the Taliban past or present. And he says, oh, okay, I'll tell him. About 4 days later, I'm in the yard just exercising. And I see this guy with a beard down to his waist. And he's walking toward me with his arm straight out like to shake my hand. So I put up my hands like this. And I said, don't touch me. And as soon as I said it, I looked past him. And in the woods on the opposite side of the fence is one of the guards with a camera with a long telephoto lens.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Click, 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 click. And I said, don't touch me. And I kept my hands in the air. And he goes, come on, man. I want to be friends. We have a lot in common. And I said, the only thing we have in common is that I used to try to kill people like you. Get the away from me.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. And he goes, come on, man. I said, I'm serious. Get away from me or I'm going to break your face. And so he walked away and I put my hands down. And then I walked in the opposite direction. And he was transferred out the next day. He had been in my prison for 5 days.
Unreal.
He was sent there just to entrap me, not for any other reason.
Holy
Just the
shit,
handshake.
dude.
Just the handshake.
Yeah.
If he would
They
have
have
shook
to
his
shake
hand,
hands.
yeah.
They have to make an example of you, right? That's
Wow.
why.
See, if I had shaken his hand, they would have had pictures of me shaking his hand, and then he would have testified that I was so angry I had been prosecuted that he and I were conspiring, and I asked him to, kill my prosecutor, kill my judge, kill the FBI, whatever.
Holy shit, dude. That is crazy.
Do they have any scruples
That's what
in
they
that
do.
situation about just wholly lying, like having him lie?
Absolutely not.
None at all, right?
Absolutely not. Remember, at least at the CIA, we were trained liars. We're trained to lie every day. Why should the FBI be any different?
Sure.
Oh my God, dude.
It was bad.
What did they nail you with? If there's all these things that you wouldn't do it.
I can tell you exactly what they got me on. In the summer of 2008, a journalist wrote me an email and he said, I'm doing a book on this CIA rendition of this Egyptian guy in Milan. Can you introduce me to any of these 12 people? And he listed these 12 names. I wrote back and I said, I don't have any idea who these people are. And then he sent me a second email and he said, can you introduce me to any of these 12 people? And I said, buddy, you clearly know this issue so much better than I do. Kidnapping was not my thing at the agency. I didn't work with the kidnappers. I did my own thing. And then he said in a third email, what about the guy that you describe on page like 138 of your book? I think his name is John. And I said, oh, you're talking about John Doe. I don't know whatever happened to him. He's probably retired and living in Virginia someplace. But I mentioned his last name.
Oh, Doe.
And so they got me. Well, I'm telling you, it's John Doe. They got me for violating the Intelligence Identities Protection Act of 1982.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was it. And the name was never made public.
Right. They take that
Never made public.
They take that very seriously, right?
Yeah, they did with me.
That's so. Oh God.
Yeah.
When you see John Brennan on CNN, what's that do to you?
You have some stories about his competence as well.
Yeah, I have maintained for many years and publicly that Brennan was in well over his head intellectually. He was not a shining star at the agency. He latched on to George Tenet, and George Tenet created him. There was nothing special about John Brennan. Nothing.
He just played ball, and he was compromised, probably.
He was really, really good at office politics. And when Tenet started making his rise in the organization, Brennan latched onto him, and he created John Brennan.
But does it drive you crazy that these people that seem to have been doing what would be considered any other time in history treason are like, I always say that, like, if Benedict Arnold was around today, he wouldn't be seen as a treasonous operative. He would be a talking head on MSNBC.
He probably would. Or BBC in that case. He probably would. Yes. You know, there's so many things. We don't have enough time to go over the crimes that a string of directors of Central Intelligence have committed. You know, I was prosecuted for revealing this name. Well, while I was being prosecuted, the CIA director, what's the matter with me? He was the CIA director under Obama, General.
Johnny, will you look that up? Will someone do it?
What's the matter with me?
Johnny's looking it up right now.
I got to say, this doesn't help your credibility, John. Were you really at the CIA?
I've blacked them out. General Petraeus. So while I was on trial, General Petraeus revealed the identities of 10 covert operatives to his adulterous girlfriend. He was charged with a misdemeanor. He was given a fine. And at sentencing, the judge came down from the bench to shake his hand and thank him for his service to the country.
Unreal.
Also, while I was in prison, I wrote an op-ed that ran, I wrote in longhand, an op-ed that ran in the Los Angeles Times saying, I got 2.5 years in prison. Why does Leon Panetta get a break? So Leon Panetta revealed the names of all of the members of the SEAL team that killed Osama bin Laden. That's 6 violations of the Intelligence Identities Protection Act. And then he revealed 27 lines of classified information to Catherine Bigelow and Mark Bowl, the director and writer of Zero Dark 30, both of whom were uncleared. And then he just said, oh, my bad. Sorry. And that was it. There were never any charges filed against Director Panetta. Rules
for thee and not for me.
That's right. That's the way it is.
So as we talk about all these crimes that so blatantly get violated by our intelligence agencies, the question becomes, what is their actual purpose?
Right.
What are they doing? Like, are they really a law enforcement? And you say there's a lot of people. You said around 95% are patriotic people. And I get in an argument with a good friend of mine named Brian Callen. He's very pro CIA. And I'll take your word that's 95%. But what do you think the purpose is of these intelligence agencies and why they seem to be so ingrained in manipulating our culture, manipulating our laws, manipulating our intelligence operations? Like, what do you think the purpose is?
Oh, I've got an answer for you. When I was working on the 7th floor, the executive floor of the CIA, I was the executive assistant to the deputy director for operations. Very important position. And in that position, you have access to literally everything that the CIA is doing around the world. He had this mantra that he would repeat almost every single day, that the job of the CIA is to recruit spies, to steal secrets, and to analyze those secrets so that the policymaker can make the best informed policy. Period. That's it. But like any bureaucracy, especially in national security, it's constantly clawing for more authorities, right? And once it's given an authority, it never, ever gives it back. If you have 5,000 employees, you need 10,000. If you have 10, you need 20. If you have 20, you need 40. And you'll never, ever downsize. Ever. 9/11 was the greatest gift that anybody could have given to the intelligence community. And not just the intelligence community, but to intelligence community contractors. Everybody got rich. Everybody. And so the CIA now is so deeply ingrained. It's been around for so many decades. Just when you thought you could control them with the creation first of the Church and Pike committees, which then became the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence and the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Then, Reagan becomes president and orders Iran-Contra, and everything just turns to shit again. And then 9/11, which gives them unfettered authorities to just go around the world and kill anybody who looks at them cockeyed. They're never going to give that stuff up. Not unless there's some catastrophe that's their fault, or they kill, some world leader and get caught, or kill a president and get caught. Otherwise, that's it. They're here to stay. The best we can do at this point is to ensure that they operate within the confines of the law. And even that is almost impossible, especially when justice departments are loath to charge CIA officers at a high level or CIA directors with a crime, even when felonies have obviously been committed.
Is that 95% number, does that apply to the top two higher up you go, or would you say that? Yeah, I was wondering about that. Well,
no, I mean at the bottom of the pyramid.
Right. Yeah. Once you go up, I would assume that
Forget
risk
it.
is much worse.
Yeah.
Can I
and then you get like John Deutsch. John Deutsch was director under Bill Clinton. John Deutsch stole a classified laptop with thousands of classified documents on it, so that he could jog his memory while writing his memoir. And then he ended up coming to some sweetheart deal. He paid a fine, and he voluntarily gave up his security clearance. General Petraeus, 18 months of unsupervised probation, and you pay a fine. No problem. Leon Panetta, no worries. You can out anybody you want. Nobody's going to prosecute you. Mike Morrell gives a classified briefing over a classified mock-up of the bin Laden compound to Mark Bohl and Catherine Bigelow, and then accepts tickets to the premiere, and the people who couldn't make the premiere got watches from Catherine Bigelow, and that's okay. That's not going to be prosecuted. No worries.
Now, we talk about the deep state, and we hear that phrase. How much does the CIA change in mission and focus with presidential administrations? None at all?
It doesn't.
Not at all.
No.
Okay.
No, it operates. I mean, presidents think they're in charge of the CIA, and Donald Trump has fired a dozen or two people. But no, there really is a deep state. I say this all the time. You don't have to call it the deep state. It doesn't have to be some, nebulous, dark, whatever force. It's the federal bureaucracy. This is the system that we've given ourselves, where they know that presidents come and go. Every 4 years, every 8 years, it's going to be somebody different. And if the president orders you to do something that you don't want to do, you just ignore him. That's it. That's what it comes down to. You just ignore him. He'll be gone eventually, and you'll be there for 30 or 35 years.
Wow.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating. And you basically, there's no real way to corrupt it unless it's a giant upheaval of
Yeah.
what we're going to do. And, you know, these things that you see in Minnesota right now, it seems to be this movement. I think it started again. It's been going on forever, but really started to kick in with the Michigan governor kidnapping, January
Yeah.
6th, this movement to
Yeah.
name, be able to label American citizens as domestic terrorists. And once you do that, you see that your constitutional rights are gone. You're black bagged. You're thrown in a cell. You can't talk
Yes.
to your lawyer.
Yes.
And it's crazy to me how people don't see big picture, and martial law is what they want.
That was even eroded under Obama, right? What was the American citizen that they droned?
Anwar al-Awlaki.
Yes. That was
And his son a week later.
which is, that was that at the time. Now that seems like, of course they did that, but at the time that was a big step, for.
Yeah, I
Sure
mean,
was.
and again, Obama and the media, which is very weird because nobody watches the mainstream media, yet their narrative is everywhere. It's very weird to me. They want you to demonize podcasters because they don't think they control them, even though we brought up several people we think are controlled.
Yeah.
And put out narratives. We've been discussing that. There's foreign agencies that want to label Islamic extremists as the bad guys, and I'm not saying that I have a tattoo of the Armenian genocide. I know what Muslims can do. I'm not going to sit there and say that they're benevolent in any way, but this movement to demonize this group of people with running through like Dearborn in Michigan and what's happening in Minnesota is this movement to create, again, martial law, which means our rights are gone.
Indeed. Couldn't agree more.
And nobody seems to worry about if you're fighting over race or gender or any ideology there, you're so lost. You've already lost the battle.
Totally.
And
I agree.
When you look like, and it's so funny how they run elections too. Like, I have no faith in elections anymore. People are always like, well, you voted for Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. The last time I voted for either of these parties was Obama's first term after 9/11 because he promised to end these wars, and we didn't realize he was a Bush. His grandfather, who MK Ultra'd his mother, was his cousins with George Bush Sr. They built the CIA together, but we were sold on that, and it's just people every time we need a hero, they'll supply it, and they supply charismatic people who say what we want to hear, and they're allowed to get away with a lot more than someone we hated, like whether it's Biden or George Bush Jr. We hate these guys, and we watch them every move. And if they do something wrong, we call it out. But the guy we all like, man, we just accept anything they do because that would be admitting that we were wrong, and we want our team to win.
It's like so many of my friends were so anti-cop because of January 6th, right? The cops, they set us up, and it was an FBI operation, and they had all these informants, and the cops planted the bomb, and blah, blah, blah. And they're the same people who are supporting the FBI and ICE in Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you even listen to yourself?
Yeah, it's crazy the mental gymnastics people have to do.
Yeah, it would stand to reason that those are the same people that set you up that are on the ground in Minnesota. Yeah. The exact same people. Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, of course it is.
What is organic about any of this?
I got to tell you something funny. I shit on the FBI at every opportunity, right? And last week, I got an invitation to be the keynote speaker at the FBI's annual offsite conference.
That's so curious.
Can you imagine?
Why do you think that is?
I really like Kash Patel. I don't have any idea what Kash Patel's politics are, but I like him because he's a bomb thrower. And if anybody's going to be able to really work to rein in the FBI, I thought it would be Kash Patel. Now I'm not so sure, but I thought it would catch.
You get in, they start showing you videos of people you love and
Exactly.
and angles, like it's the old Bill Hicks joke, the angles of the Kennedy
JFK
assassination that no
Yes.
one's ever seen before.
That's right.
Any questions?
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know how to control it. I don't know what it is. I kind of detach from it and just prepare myself for chaos and, loading up on everything I can to try to take care of my kids. And that seems to be the play, but to get lost in this stuff, like the girl gets shot. Okay. And just the way it's everywhere all at once. Yeah, I've always said if it makes it to Sports Center, it's an intelligence operation. If something political makes it to Sports Center, they're pushing a narrative. John, it was a great conversation. I know you got a heart out, so we'll end it there.
I do. Thank you.
One more
time.
time.
The pleasure's mine.
One more time. Johnny, did you have anything you wanted to ask, or did we get to it?
No, yeah.
Okay. One more time. Tell them where they can find you.
Thank you. So it's Deprogram on YouTube and Rumble. It is Deep Focus on YouTube. And on Apple Podcasts, it's John Kiriaku's Dead Drop.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. If you ever have a book or anything else you want to come back on, open door to you, and we appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you
appreciate
so much.
it. Thank you.
Anytime, all the time. Let's break down the episode. All right, what'd you guys think of John?
Dude, I never thought we'd have him on.
I'm glad we made it happen. Yeah. We were professional.
We didn't ask no dumb questions. I
wanted to.
What was it?
You wanted to ask him dumb questions?
Well, I wanted to get into, I guess I asked all the questions I wanted to ask. I was trying to think if there were like stuff that would be a little bit more contentious, but I feel like he was pretty open-minded.
He's pretty open, yeah. Like most of the things where I thought he would give some pushback, he was like, "No, they're doing that." Like the podcast, like Sean Ryan and all, like naming.
But he's really right, and you can also look at Alex Jones. Like you could go, Alex Jones's court case was a farce, but he does owe that money.
Yeah.
And and he's always like they're taking InfoWars, and then he's still there.
Yeah, it's so confusing. Like how?
But I do think that.
Does that mean you work for somebody else now, Alex?
I think there's somebody's like we'll fix all your problems. Yeah. I mean, if they're gonna give Barry Weiss $200 million for a show that gets nothing, what are they gonna do for Alex Jones that gets a bazillion views?
And I was.
But he hates Candace Owens. Like, he hates her. And it's just
you
interesting.
Really think he hates her, or they're telling him to hate her?
Yeah, it could be kayfabe. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think he hates. I mean, come on, he's a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, good point. That's the theater of it. But
I also like that when you brought up demoralization campaigns, he was like right there with that. I was thought maybe he wouldn't be hip to that, but he's like totally like, oh yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah. Johnny, were you excited? Because I know you wanted to make that happen. Are you excited I didn't that up?
Well, I mean, what do you mean? You're a professional podcast host.
Yeah. I am a professional podcaster. What do you mean? Some people should realize that I'm really good at that. I feel like we're professional.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think where we could have challenged him more.
I'm sorry I brought that up earlier because it's not really what I meant.
No,
I was like,
I think
should I ask harder questions? But I think I asked all the real questions I wanted to ask.
I mean, there's a certain person that's going to be listening to this that's actually not me. That's going to be thinking like you can never, like what you said, you can never trust somebody who's ever worked for the CIA, and.
That prison story is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. And if you listen to him, he's got so many crazy stories like that where they have effed with him and just like.
Would you guys still live in America if the government put you through that? I don't know if I would want to go live in France or somewhere where
Costa
I'm like,
Rica?
So, yeah, I don't understand why I'm like, dude,
buying land in Costa Rica, they say, is the new Bitcoin. Because it's about to blow up.
The thing, though, is...
Or El Salvador, too. Because El Salvador has become the safest place in the world.
No criminals, no
people
with tattoos.
They can fuck with you just as easily there as they do here. The CIA, man, if they want you...
Yeah, they can
It's probably easier there because you have fewer rights.
But it's like the question is like, who is the CIA's master? I think it's these bankers.
That Israel thing is proof of that.
Yeah, I think they're the bankers. And I think it's the Bank of England. And it's so good to see people start talking about that because I would say that, and then you would hear them. I get yelled at because I'm not behind the. I'm not saying the Dana thinks I'm a Nazi. It's so crazy. I get called a fascist and a Nazi. I say Hitler was controlled opposition, and I want as little government as possible. How am I a Nazi fascist?
Yeah.
It's like crazy, right?
No, it is crazy. Yeah. The Nazi thing, it's just tremendous to history. It's endlessly fascinating. I've been listening to this history series on YouTube about their rise to power, and they were just so much money behind them bringing them in, and then people kind of, when they started doing some of the shit that they said they were gonna do, then some of them were like, wait, what now? Like,
but even if you go, okay, he got rid of this and he changed that, and their economy was doing great. I go, well, their
economy was not doing great though. It was all propped up by, and if he didn't expand Germany, it would have failed. It was all it was kind of like a house of cards.
But even if it's the illusion that's doing great, when Trump's like greatest economy of all time, it's like, I don't know. There's people seem to be struggling, But if you want to get a country of people to rally around somebody, you allow him to thrive so that everyone gets, because if your whole job is to implode this country, you need as many of them to go to war and be taken out as possible.
Well, dude, Hitler sat down with the newspapers, because the Nazis, better than anybody, understood propaganda and the value of controlling the news and what people consumed. This is a thing that doesn't get taught about as much as it should, that they made sure that everybody had a radio for the first time. Like there was like government programs to get radios into people's houses, these little portable radios for the first time. And he sat down with the newspapers, Hitler did, and said, like, listen, I hear you guys talking about peace all the time. Like, peace is a virtue. Peace is not a virtue for our country. We want, and this is documented by several of the newspaper editors that were in these conversations, we want war to be a virtue. We want people to be ready and to need war. For there to be a hunger for war was how he phrased it, I think. And to feel that we can only get what we deserve through combat, because he knew he was kind of and you see that with our government, like trying to.
You think that's going on now?
Absolutely.
The way people were excited about Maduro. I wish we would ask them that.
I
kept wanting to do it.
But he had to go. Yeah, I wanted to bring that up too, because he would have had a good perspective. Because that's the kind of thing he used to do. Like he
extract an asset.
He hunted terrorists, like people that and he brought in some of the first guys to get caught that had connections to terrorism and stuff, like real. And then
that's another thing I didn't get into, is like the controlling of the opposition as well.
Yeah. I mean, we know that's going on.
You just listen to all these. I mean, especially the British Empire did. I mean, like, they basically created all the Islamic jihadists. They're behind all of it.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, go to samtripoli.com. All the new dates are there. Dude, for some reason, and I don't know why, doom scrolling exploded on Rumble.
Because it's a good show. Tuesday.
Dude, it got over 100,000 views. I was like, what the is this? We haven't seen 100,000 views in. I mean, overall, we can get close to that a lot. But
well, look at the thumbnail. You got Martin Luther King and an alien. Why are you not going to click it?
Yeah. You got trans indigenous.
You got the word.
What is that person there?
That's a trans indigenous person.
What is she doing?
It's about this funny video that I had on Instagram. Will you go find it real quick? Can you go to Sam's Instagram and watch this guy?
This is all Broken Sam, by the way. Can you go to my Instagram and just find this? And then we scroll and like, oh no, that's a stripper's asshole. Hold on, let me keep going.
So? So it's a stripper's asshole. Let's see if it comes up. Oh, yep, there it is. If you go down, keep going down, keep going down, keep going down.
What is that? Some guy deep throating a hot dog? What was that? Oh, we don't need to see it.
It's German. It's the Germans, dude.
Germany, yeah. This is what happens after the war. They just lost their way, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, that's all done on purpose, so we'd never come together. You can watch it for 2 seconds. I don't want to show.
What is it? This one?
Yeah. Watch it for 2 seconds.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
It makes me laugh. The best part of this video is this guy, this super progressive.
Wait, but this is not that woman, right?
Johnny, exactly.
Oh, he represents her.
Yeah, he's a trans indigenous person.
No, I saw this video.
He's pretending. So that's all I could find in there.
Oh, I see.
Leave me alone. Yeah, so go samtripoli.com, all my dates. Listen, guys, you guys can do whatever you want. I know you work hard for your money.
Thank you.
But you will never get more bang for your buck on premium content than my conspiracy content on samtripoli.com. It is the best. I'm doing 3. I'm going to do one probably tomorrow night or Friday night. Add a third one this week. It's great, dude. You can see where if you go up, I started learning how to do thumbnails. So
AI right there.
Yeah. I love it. So go check it out. Go down. Tell us about Cash Daddies, Johnny. How we doing?
Yeah, Howie is. I just found out this week that he's a reader, which I didn't see that coming. I got to be honest.
Like he reads books?
Yeah.
Oh, you
time.
finally made the thumbnail. Thank you, Johnny.
What do you mean? It's been up there since this morning. Like early,
I didn't see it on any of our content.
On Rumble, it sometimes takes a while, but it was on YouTube.
Okay, so go. Yep. So you go check it out, and yeah, it's $20, but you get multiple daily updates on what to invest, what not to invest, when to get out. We answer questions every week. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, and like, dude, he'll teach you how to do puts and calls and all that stuff. What's it called? Stop losses. Stop losses. So if it goes down a certain number, you sell it. So it's a great thing. Go back to the website, por favor, senor. Go down. I'm going to go past Chaos Twins because I'm working on it right now. T-shirts.
Woo.
Go down. Is it up? There it is,
right
dude.
there.
I get my news from Sam Tripoli. It's a
good.
2-sided shirt. I love it, dude.
Did you ever play that arcade game where you like delivered Paperboy on the bike? I love that arcade game.
I did
dude.
too.
That
dude.
was my favorite arcade
I did
game.
too.
That and what were the twin brothers that were like double? Remember those twin brothers that you fight like? What the hell? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know the
classic
characters.
80s arcade game, double something.
And they're $20. These t-shirts
$20,
are $20,
dude. Tell me where else you get a $20
Nowhere.
shirt for anywhere, ever. $20, make you holler. You know
Double
why?
Dragon. Remember that?
I love
yeah.
Double Dragon. That was when that's when video games took a quantum leap.
Yep.
When you watch, you're like, oh, this is different than anything we've ever seen before.
Double Dragon was awesome.
Double Dragon,
I used
dude.
to play that.
Oh yeah, dude. It was
nonstop.
fire, bro. I used to love that, dude. Double Dragon was the best. After school, we'd go down to Monteleone's and we would eat pizza and play Double Dragon.
So funny. My grandparents owned like a tiny little country store, general store, and for a while it was terrible business. But they had a couple arcade machines, and I would just go down there and play Double Dragon
all day.
Yeah, all day.
I loved it. Check out our affiliates, dude. I'm just telling you, these are the things you guys want. You have to try to find it. And he's struggling.
No, we're there.
Okay.
We're there.
Go up. And there we go. Gold and silver, Wise Wolf, we love them. Hydrogen brown gas. Harley Ray, we love the Crystal Store. Chemical Free Body. My good friends, Tim James, we just had him on. I took it today. I love it. EMF Rocks, get rid of that dirty energy. Prometheus, when you need decentralized website. And Brain Supreme, on it or off this week?
On it.
I have some for you. I had some in my safe, and I'm like, I'm not ever going to take these.
yeah.
I'll give you the ones
I'll take 'em.
they
Yeah,
sent
fuck
me. And then Prometheus. Then our good friends working out. Check that out. Go down. Anything else, guys?
Hit that like button, subscribe. I just did my first live Extreme Marks the Spot. We did a mystery box giveaway with some tinfoil hat merch. So if you want some of that,
Must
go
be
over
nice.
there.
Johnny.
Yes.
Wait, so you're giving out tinfoil hat merch on your podcast? Is that?
Yeah.
We're just stealing
Like extra beanies. No, like a beanie or something.
He made the beanies, so I can give him the beanies.
We gotta give away some merch.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, actually. What can we?
Let's do it.
We should just give away random shit.
By the
we
way,
find.
I've been seeing, I know it's not our shirt, but I saw Sounds Gay I'm In on some guy just wearing.
Really? That's a.
Well, you'd wear that?
I did. I wore it at Skankfest 2 years ago.
He's got it.
I was walking by those T-shirt stores, and by the way, they f you. They don't give you $20 shirts.
No.
If you don't ask how much is this shirt before you go in.
$50.
Yep, they're like $40. I go, dude, I'm not paying you $40 for the stupid shirt.
I'm sorry, $50.
$35. I'm like $30, and that's too much. He's like, fine.
You know it costs him $5 to make
Yeah,
that
it's
thing,
nothing,
too.
but they
Like,
just press it.
Yeah, because they do all the shit right in the
Sounds
back. Yeah,
gay,
you can
I'm
watch
in.
them. Broken Sim. Check out the new one. We'll have one out probably by the time you hear this. It'll be a perfect shit show, I'm sure, but it's fine.
It's illegal for the CIA to operate in America, but it
is,
seems like they do it all the time.
And they're not law. I heard you say they're law enforcement, but they're not. They're not law enforcement. They're intelligence. The FBI's law enforcement. But they do all that same shit that they're not supposed to do. That's out of their purview and illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I forgot to ask him was, do you think there's a software to detect AI? Like, let's say someone if someone makes a crime of me doing something and it goes to court, you think eventually an AI video can put someone in court where they're like, we don't know if that's
really,
AI?
Yeah, that's concerning.
Yeah, that is concerning.
Yeah, like what Johnny just said, in 6 months, you're not going to be able to talk.
Tyler Robinson.
You're right.
Yeah, that's another farce right there.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that story's just such bullshit. Like, and here's the problem with people. They're so mad at Candace for asking questions. Like, they're so mad. And I'm like, a guy got assassinated, if you want to believe he's dead, right? And he's not in Valhalla.
And his wife is doing political
and
rallies.
Erica Kirk is not helping. Like, she is just living her best life. It's so crazy. Like, I understand if you got divorced and you were just slinging pee everywhere.
Like, remember how Jackie O responded to Kennedy? Like, she went on, like,
she wore that
ended up
dress,
getting some dick, but for a while she was done. Dude.
Yeah,
like,
but there was some weird stuff too. You ever hear about that phone call between her and Lyndon B. Johnson?
Yes, that is
very suspect, bro.
But she at least played at Greek.
Yeah,
you
just can you grieve for a month?
Yeah.
Before you start doing WrestleMania shows,
and she's doing the whole opposite of what Charlie would say. She would say mothers needs to stay at home, take care of the kids. How are you going to run the CEO?
Oh, that's a great point, dude.
Like, how are you going to run the CEO?
By the way, where are your kids? Have you seen a picture of her with her kids since? Yeah. And then that one former stripper senator, Luna or something like that of Florida. She used to be a stripper.
Oh yeah, boy, she's smoke.
Yeah, she's smoke show. She's like, and she lost her kids, and you're like, what? And then she had to backtrack on that. It makes you really wonder if those were her kids at all.
Oh boy,
right?
Ooh.
Right?
Oh boy.
And it's like all this stuff's coming out about how much CIA involvement she had, and basically her parents did to her what Obama's grandpa did to his mother, which was turn them into MK Ultra sex skins, right? They sent her in to just capture Charlie Kirk, and who knows if that was a real relationship or not.
Anna Paulina Luna, right?
Yeah, she's like, and she lost her kids. You're like, where are the kids? What do you mean she lost them? She doesn't know where they are right now?
They went back to the orphanage she stole them from. Yeah.
Well, Romania?
And now I forget who was talking about, but someone big was talking about how Obama kids aren't the Obamas. Like, that's how deep the deceit goes.
They look just like him and his wife.
No, dude. They had the lady who delivered both the kids looks exactly like the daughter, and her husband looks exactly like the older one.
How's she gonna have a kid if she has a dick?
Actually, asking the scientific questions. Stop bringing science in.
Clones.
Stop bringing science in, dude.
We think they clone everybody, but they don't clone somebody to have a kid. I totally buy that they would do that if they
clone children.
Yeah, no, like clone Obama or his wife to make the kids look like him.
Dude, have you seen the funny meme where it's like Vince McMahon? You know, where he has that overexcited, where he's like, ha.
Yeah, he's about the jizz. Yeah.
Someone did that with Don Lemon, right? They're like, arrest a gay black man.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah,
with the KKK law on Martin Luther King Day. You're like, ah! Dana thinks I'm a Nazi, but it's like, dude, you got to call out stupid. Stop ODing on these dumb shows. I can get in a fight with her, be like, I don't want you to turn on these channels on this TV. Go in the other room, in the guest room, and watch your dog shit. But
what does she watch? MS Now?
Oh, she loves to go back and forth between CNN and MSNBC. And then my mother, who I love with all my heart, she thinks she's like hearing both sides by watching both Fox News and MSNBC. I'm like, Mom, you're hearing both sides of retarded.
Yeah, it's a very narrow spectrum, those two.
They're both, when it comes to war, they're both on the same side. Yeah. Every time. Yes. Every time. All right, guys. Real quick. If you want to see me live, I forgot to tell you, I got to get these dates up. But here are some shows coming to a theater near you. I am going to be in, here we go, February 10th, Comedy Chaos at the Hollywood. February 20th, I'm in Baltimore. February 21st, I'm in Pottstown. February 28th, I'm in Vegas doing an improv show with my old improv troupe. It's like our 40th anniversary or 30th anniversary.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're going to go back and do it. Bakersfield, Batavia, Dallas, Albuquerque, Kansas, Lawrence, Kansas, and Tulsa all coming up. I got more dates to come.
And those will be there by the time
Yeah, by the time you look at this, you can go to the website. They'll all be up there. Anything else, guys?
Hit the like button, please. Subscribe.
All right, Johnny's dream came true. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
So everyone's going crazy. Can we watch that? Can we?
Yeah.
Can you find it out? Hot chicks are going crazy in the comment section. Some chick asked me to save Canada. She's hot. I'll come if hot chicks call. If hot chicks are in trouble, daddy will come running.
All right, I got it right here. Here we go. Share the screen. Share the screen. See, we're an interactive show.
Dude, you decide the content.
My first visit of a Canadian Prime Minister to China in nearly a decade. The world has changed much since that last visit.
Look at this chick. Yes.
Progress we've made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
Is he the least dramatic? I mean, this
Dude,
guy
he used to run the Bank of England. Why would you ever vote a lizard person in? And I don't even believe that they voted for him.
I can't believe he talks like let's play that one
He's
more
so
time.
dramatic. Can we watch the dramatic? Oh,
It's like dramatic, but it's like the most dramatic, least charismatic.
Johnny,
thing
will
I've
you
ever
put
seen.
out a poll? Who paused more, Pearl Davis or Carney?
It's the least dramatic. I mean, the most dramatic, least charismatic speech ever given, possibly.
Mine is the
It
first.
sounds like your accountant sitting you down and telling
Happy
you
birthday
got,
to Jamie Starr, real quick.
It sounds like your accountant sitting you down, telling you got problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you're broke. Listen, I know we advised you on a bunch of stuff,
Mr. Tripoli.
Mr. Tripoli,
You
but
have not been
you're
paying
broke.
your tax. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's like he's delivering bad news or something.
Mine is the first visit of a Canadian Prime Minister to China in nearly a decade.
Look at her. Look at her shaking her head. Yes.
The world has changed much since that last visit.
Yes. Yes. You're
I believe
so right.
the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
What? That's so weird, dude.
Yeah, he's
Isn't that weird?
like, dude, it's like Canada. You are effed in your B, dude. You just voted in a lizard person. When I don't care if you were janitor at the Bank of England. Never let them in. Never let them in.
Imagine
Ever.
that guy talking to the Chinese. By the way, you know how fast the Chinese talk. This guy, they're like, and he's like, new world order. You talk too slow. Talk faster. You know, like what?
I'm with
it must
you.
be so
Any of the
funny.
hot chicks need a green card to America.
That was so weird. I'm thank you. Who was it that told us to look at that?
Everybody in
yeah.
the comment section.
So strange. Oh, what a
I can't
creep,
believe
right?
Canada is such a great country,
Just a
and they just
creepazoid.
vote in.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of well, hot chicks. This is I know you saw this because you retweeted it, but boy, this worries me, dude. This is the future. I mean, OnlyFans chicks are getting a run. You thought that was a safe place to park your money, or not park your money. You thought that was a safe job in this gig economy. In the future, it's not, dude. Look what we got these Indian guys doing now, bro. Look at this,
dude. How crazy is this? Yeah,
that's
dude,
live render, dude. That's like, oh,
yeah.
maybe
dude,
maybe
you're
it's
gonna
not
be-
live. Actually,
You're
I
gonna
wanna,
be pounding your pud to Jeets, dude.
he might be doing that. He might be. I mean, he might have done that in post, actually. But
Oh
eventually,
my god!
oh, it's so
Getting
concerning.
catfish is such another level. I feel so bad for hot chicks.
Oh,
They
it got a
just
little
replace
weird
you.
right there. It got a little when he turned sideways. Do you see? It lost him for a second. Right. Look at the cheeks. Do you see? They got weird right there.
Oh yeah, that's weird. Yeah, right there, Johnny. That's a boner killer in your world, huh? When she starts having weird facial spasms, like, oh, you just killed this boner, cheat.
Can you imagine, dude? Like the guys in the dating apps are reporting more and more that it's bots there, but they don't know why. Like this is thing I saw it on Reddit that it's like clearly fake accounts, but they're not doing anything to you. You know what I mean?
Because there's a bunch of guys who want to give dudes boners.
You think that's what it is, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
And by the way, if we have enough gay listeners, we'll do a gay Blue Chew ad read too.
Oh, dude. I thought that's what we were doing.
Okay, dude, give us our gay dollars and we'll push gay boner pills.
So now this is KG. We're going to be pushing the limits of the new YouTube standards with cursing here, but I thought you'd enjoy this. This is Kevin Garnett blaming LeBron for.
Oh, I love this clip, dude. I love this clip.
Yeah, I love Kevin Garnett, by the way. He's so cool. All right, here we go. Let me just turn it down.
LeBron didn't get in the shit. He fucked the whole tradition up. When Kobe slapped the floor, told that nigga, let's go one-on-one, and he passed it, he fucked up the whole tradition.
Damn.
Don't nobody want to hear this? Yeah, I'm one of them gatekeepers. I can say this.
Gatekeeper.
Everybody went in it. Bro, he slapped floor on your ass. You supposed to nail his ass with a 3. Boom. Bitch ass nigga, what's up? Y'all supposed to go right there.
Right.
Lord didn't want none of that motion.
Right.
Swung that bitch here.
Right.
Get that.
Dude, if you could take Kobe's
Like,
mentality
see?
and put it in LeBron James, you would have the greatest player. I mean,
forget
LeBron
about it,
James is in the discussion as the greatest player ever for sure. But if he had Kobe's mentality, it would have been over.
Watch Carmelo's reaction to what happened, and then I'll show you the full clip.
That's when Mama was like, nah, see, you don't want this nigga. Right, talking crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I hate to get to the, that's what really happened. Yeah. And ever since then, we've been off the trajectory. We went this way.
Yeah.
So here's the
LeBron
clip
has
that
done
they're
a lot
talking
of
about.
damage.
This is there's just a couple of seconds left in the All-Star game. West is up 2 points, 151 to 149. A lot of defense going on. And then Kobe is like up in LeBron.
Yeah.
Williams gets it back. Down to 3 seconds. And Griffin picks it off.
And what happened there was because this is when this is the LeBron that everybody forgets. This is why LeBron isn't in Michael Jordan's level for me. Okay. It was these years when people were questioning whether LeBron had the killer mentality. And there were times in which he didn't show up. You know, there were finals in which you go, where is LeBron James? With the Miami Heat, he quit on a couple teams. He quit on the last Cavs team. There was his first time with the Lakers when they were obviously sucked. He was like, oh, I'm injured, you know? So there's a lot with LeBron. But I see it different, a little different than Kevin Garnett. Look, Kobe wanted LeBron to take over. He was like, dude, you gotta shoot. Like that whole interaction after that, he's like, dude, you gotta shoot the shot. You gotta shoot the shot. Because people were talking about he wasn't taking over finals. He wasn't being the guy, he wasn't being the Michael Jordan of that shit. And Kobe's like, you gotta shoot that shot, man. You gotta shoot that shot. And when he passed it off, I agree, dude. You know, it's not just LeBron either. That whole banana crew of him, Camilo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Paul. Chris Paul did huge. It's so funny that Chris Paul is just a Karen of the NBA. And by the way, LeBron James is getting there too.
Oh, dude, yeah, he was terrible.
LeBron James, he's getting pounded for how bad he's playing with the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not running back on D because he's old, dude.
It's like is terrible.
Yeah, because he's old, dude.
He can turn it on every now and then. He's like, he gets personal about it, like takes it personally, like Jordan always did. And then you can see they're still in there if he would just.
I mean, like, dude, he's 41. When he wants to turn it on, he can. The problem is when you're taking up so much of that salary cap, you can't just pick and choose when you turn it on.
Anyway,
like instead of having one LeBron, they could have 2 really good players playing with him.
Totally. Yeah. No, I mean, he's worth more in jersey sales now than anything. So Rogan here had Rand Paul on, and then I thought this was fascinating. We're going to really push YouTube here, but let's see what happens.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app, or check us out at youtube.com/Sam Tripoli.
There we go. What's up, guys?
It's the number one podcast in the world. We're finally live. That was me, 4 or 5 years ago?
Only.
Dude, I could have swore I would have had papers, but it was a joke. It's still fucking serious. Man, that thing was a long time ago, but we're here. We're fucking finally live. I already saw the first super chat. If you got my number, let me know if the sound's good and everything's working out good. Right off the bat, you guys already know we don't smoke the same style. We're doing a mystery giveaway for the super chats. We got a hat. We got a mystery t-shirt by Sam Tripoli that I can't show. Then I have this one. So all you gotta do is super chat to win. And we're here live. You guys have been asking for it for a long time. We're live. Chili, how you feeling?
I feel good.
We feeling good?
We feel good.
Yeah.
You didn't do the bing, 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 bing.
Oh, yeah. Burn, 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 burn. Like number one, I got my number one producer / graphic designer, Chili Millie.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not working?
It's not.
Oh, man. We got a couple technical difficulties. I don't know. We're still figuring it out. It's been a while. Been a while since we were live over at Felipe's.
Yeah.
We were talking about how I was nervous. Like right now, I couldn't figure out how to get the settings right. And then Chili's like, dude, you're sweating over there, chill.
Bro.
And I looked at her, I was like, dude, do you remember how stressful it was when we would go live for Felipe, or when you would go live for Felipe?
Yeah, that shit was terrifying.
Yeah, scary as fuck. But we're live. How's it? Do we got anybody in there?
Yeah, we got people. I just can't see it. Did you? Okay, you want to get into it?
Oh, get
How
into
we
what?
normally do?
Why we took a week off?
We took 2 weeks off. No.
Yeah, because me and Chili started beefing.
I didn't post it.
You did it?
No, he unfollowed me and then he followed me again. Why did you unfollow me?
I did. What do you know? I thought you unfollowed me. I even told Jenny. I was like, hey,
oh, because I deleted it.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah. Anyways.
No, but I was gone for 2 weeks because just a couple technical difficulties. Mostly my girl fucking ate shit. We went snowboarding. Yeah, we were supposed to record on Monday, and me and my girl went snowboarding Sunday. And dude, it was bad. We got it on a 360 camera. She was just going a little too fast on a Sunday, and on those days it's a little bit too fucking packed. It looks like a zoo out there. There's like 1,000 snowboarders, 1,000 skiers, and she called back, behind me, and this kid just fell right in front of her, concussion. She didn't even remember running into me for like 5 minutes. We drank a beer, and I was like, did we just drink a beer? Look, play the video.
Not gonna lie, like you sent me this video and it was actually it's pretty dope video. Like I wish I had it. Let me see. Behind you!
Ow.
Hey, are you okay?
Look at that. Some random guy just fucking came over there and picked up the camera. He could have stole it.
Smacked your head.
These
Your
people
wallet's
out there
out.
on the slopes are so nice.
Dude. I thought he moved the camera for a second.
Yeah, it's on like the whole vision's on his crotch. Yeah, but it's bad. Got
No, that's terrifying.
Yeah, major concussion. Got like checking in on her.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
You want to play the
How many?
I mean, it's pretty
Oh,
much
that's
over.
it?
No, that's it. Yeah, I just got the part. I mean, she recorded her whole run, and she just obviously
She got a concussion, no?
bad. Yeah.
Dude, you're bad luck.
I'm bad luck. It's 3 in a row. I'm not even lying. I gave Chili all the files. I went smoking with my homie Heebie Jeebies. We don't smoke the same high and hungry fan. He broke his collarbone, and I have a video and a picture of him literally at the same patrol place. Then the weekend after that, I go with my homie Fernando. You guys all know him from the fucking vlogs. He's a snowboarder too. This motherfucker's using the X5 camera again. He's going super fast.
Wait, does he have that one?
No,
Fuck.
I think he hit the camera so fucking hard he restarted the. I lost all my files on that day.
Damn.
Yeah, he was going, so he was just going, and there was some kids in front of him, and you never want to hurt the kids, so he tried to avoid the kids. Runs into like a pile of dirt where there's no snow. I guess he eats shit. His elbow hits his kidney.
Damn. Oh yeah.
Yeah, his elbow hit his kidney, and he's kind of in pain, but we've been drinking, so he's kind of like trying to tough it out, trying to man up and shit. And we just got there, so he's also like, yo, I don't want to ruin your guys' day type of shit. So we go back, go have a couple beers, I roll up a joint, he's fine, and I'm like, you good? He's like, I'm in a little pain, but like I can pay money to here, I'm already here, let's go on some runs. And I'm like, all right, let's go. We get back on the shuttle, because they have like festivals where they have a shuttle, so you can park there, and then they take you to the resort, so it's a little cheaper. And right before we're about to go on a run, he's like, hey, I gotta go use the restroom. I'm like, oh yeah, good idea. We had a couple beers. Bro, I go first and I fucking pee really fast, and then I beat him to it. I'm outside waiting for him, and he walks out. His face says it all. It's like this face of like, I'm like,
You
what?
scared?
Yeah, and I'm like, what happened? He's like, dude, there's a little bit of blood in my piss.
I'm surprised he said something, knowing Fed, because he never says anything.
Yeah, but that's
He's
serious.
always like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking. Because I called his sister. I'm the one who like kind of like handled the situation a little bit. I like called his sister. I called everybody, and then he's like, dude, we're even surprised Fed said anything, but. He ate shit, and then the weekend after that, Jenny ate shit. So I don't know if I need a limpia like these fucking santeros say. I need a limpia. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if I should start snowboarding. I got insurance though.
I think Mexicans don't belong in snow.
Shut up, Sam Tripoli.
Just saying.
You heard him?
No.
So was talking shit.
Really?
He's like, I thought you had bad knees. You're out there snowboarding, and then he's like,
Izon said the same shit.
Yeah. And then he made Johnny look up. Hey Johnny, do me a favor. Can you look up how many Winter Olympic medals Mexico has?
Damn, that's
0. And then he came up with this funny ass joke. He's like, I think they should have won the what's that one where they're sweeping? Sounds like, what? You guys should have won that. Put the fucking house cleaners in that. Fucking you hit it, you little house
You
cleaning.
should have fucking clipped that with all fucking Fed in the ambulance. That sucks. I want to play Feds. I want to see Feds.
Yeah, dude. When people get hurt, you don't want to record, but I had to get them getting fucking.
No, actually, when you sent me this, so when you sent it to me, I thought you guys were alone, and then when I seen him in the ambulance, and I'm like, dude, this is fucking scary.
Yeah,
like he could have died, no?
Well, he could have died
because it's internal bleeding.
That's exactly what they were checking, and they ran a lot of CT scans for him, a lot of fucking. I think they even ran an MRI. He was in the hospital for like almost 12 hours.
Oh, that's it.
18 hours. Yeah, they ran a bunch of tests on him, and then.
You think he was bleeding because he drank?
No, he probably he hurt his kidney. He probably like.
But I mean, like, you know, like drinking makes your blood go. What is it?
That fool's not good with drinking.
Thinning out. He's already sick.
Yeah, that fool's not really good with drinking. At the end, to be honest with you, he's not a big tequila guy.
Oh, he's drinking tequila?
Oh, he's drinking everything.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play.
Chili don't drink no.
By the way,
tequila
3
either.
Eyes gave us a huge ass fucking.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! I'm gonna hook you up with that mystery box. You already won it.
No. We can keep getting more. You guys.
Oh, I'll do another one. No, I'll do another one. But if it's that big of a fucking,
it's $50.
Yeah. You got a box, dog.
Plus
you got one. We'll
ones,
do a whole nother
but I
box.
just
Thank
saw
you.
that
Thank you, fucking 3 Eyes, man. We love you like always.
Love you. Okay, so let me play Feds.
This motherfucker.
He's like flirting with the girl. Let me play it again because I fucked up. No? He's like flirting with the girl, no?
Chili, he's fucking dying. I don't think this fool's trying to flirt with anybody. I love Fed, but he's also not that type. But he's not that type of guy. You can see. I mean, you could see me. You could say that about me. I could see XG be like, "Oh, dude, I have a podcast. Have you checked out my podcast?"
That's funny, dude.
Nah, that's not Fed, but he fucking. Yeah, I feel bad. So I don't come snowboarding with me. That's what I'm trying to start to figure out to tell people. Maybe you don't want to come with me. Huh?
3 Eyes. I'm finna drink 700 bears. Because remember that year I drank beer every day.
Oh, did you do the full year?
No. The
No,
hell?
I was about to say I don't think you capped.
I can't.
I don't think you capped the full year.
No, that should be easy for most people. Did you? So you sent me Sam's debate thing. I forgot he has so many fucking podcasts. Hey, didn't. Oh, never mind. He has so many podcasts that I forgot this was a thing. I was wondering what his posts were.
Do you know what it is though, right?
No.
So it's called Ward. I can't. I'm fucking such illiterate.
I know.
Can you say it?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
It's
Spell
war.
it.
It's World War debates, but with Ward in it. It's just too many W's at once.
Oh, Ward.
Yeah.
With a D.
Yeah, like click on it. It's a debate. It's a debating show where basically he gets like, both of them that are on there. Click on the file I sent you.
On the actual page.
No, click on the.
Okay, wait, let me do
know.
this fancy stuff. Wait, play it, right?
Yeah.
Hey. God damn.
You know her.
Oh yeah. What's her name?
They debated.
Oh really?
Pearl, what are you doing? Like seriously?
With 2 girls?
Next question.
It was bad. She ate dog shit.
Wait, what's going on?
How many women die every year during childbirth?
Not many.
This country has the highest maternal mortality rate of any developed country. So a lot of women do die as a result of pregnancy and childbirth. Yes.
I don't mind her. She's a little liberal, but
she sucks dick with her teeth.
What do you think, Kyla?
Well, I think Anna said it all. I think whatever opinion you have on the topic, that was an absolute bloodbath. Huge respect to Pearl for coming out, but if you're going to hold this position, you should be able to support it. And if you think that Pearl won that debate you're probably retarded. Like, I don't know, that was a bloodbath. That was rough.
Well, you know, when you kind of get into it and you watch it, this is Anna's world, and we've seen her on Pierce Morgan and stuff like that. What'd you think, Gavin?
Well, I guess I'm retarded because I thought Pearl did great. I think that.
Gavin McGinnis, he's wild.
You know what I noticed going on over there? Anna doesn't have kids. Pearl has a kid. And Anna was doing this like masculine thing where she was being really, vociferous and attacking Pearl. And Pearl had this sort of like calm.
Why are we infantilizing Pearl? She's like 2 million subscribers.
No,
on
when
YouTube.
when a woman has a kid,
we are absolutely infantilizing. We're being like,
no, I'm saying women who have given birth, women who have given birth are better than women who haven't given birth.
Child?
Sorry, you're more of a valid woman if you have a kid.
I mean, he's right.
I mean, there's a lot going on. I had a miscarriage, so am I less valid or more valid as a woman?
Well, what happened to you?
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hat.